What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Black Ass here. And today, man, I wanted to talk about something that came on my mind again, like every video. And I really wanted to touch base with you guys on it. It's currently like 6:59, 6:58 ish around the time of me making this video. It's like, as you can see, or you can't see it, but from my peripheral view, the sun is going down, but I can still see a glimpse of light. So it's like 7-ish, But shit, what was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah, millennial niggas and how they fucked up a lot of shit. Gen Z, boomers, Generation X. I'm gonna be discussing, in my opinion, each generation and how we're so different from, our parents and our grandparents. Boomer ass niggas, or just people in their, like, I think 60s, 70s right now, possibly older. These niggas are, the real last generation of men and women who really worked their ass off, and they took every advantage, they could get. This is why you don't see really anybody over the age of, like, or under the age of, I would say, like 50 or 45, really being in a business for over 30 years or having their own business for 30 years. Like, it's usually somebody who's a little bit older than them that has, that type of experience, because you've lived longer, obviously, and you've been in the field longer. So anybody that has experience with any type of, like, business, or has been in a business for, I would say, 30 some 40 years, you're like a hard-working boomer, I guess. Like, they're also like the generation that really, they still stick to their morals and values, man. They still, but what's interesting is they haven't caught up to the modern time. They haven't caught up to the world and how advanced it got. These niggas still think it's like 1975 or something like that. Some people are still stuck in that mindset that when I was younger and I was in my prime of basically living, that life is always going to be like this, but it's not. And with boomers, it's like, yeah, I get it, they're old, but they haven't really adapted, But that's just boomers. Now, here's my dad's generation, Generation X, DX. The niggas who are, I would say, in their early 50s to mid 50s, maybe even late 40s. But this generation, a lot of them at this point, they're getting pretty old, and life is starting to really catch up to them. Generation X, they're basically everybody who was like 20 in, like, let's say the 90s, or, you know, everybody who was a teenager in the 90s, basically. Or maybe that's millennials, but this generation, you know, during their time, like, they went through some challenging shit because, especially black people, like, if you're from Generation X, basically my dad's age around there, the 90s going on to 2000. Tell me how y'all adjusted, because I really want to know, like, all of those niggas, right, who were like 23, 24, in your 20s basically, to right now, like, how do y'all feel, because y'all basically got pretty fucking old, like, really quick, you know. Within 20 years, you guys have aged, like, you know, rapidly. Don't get me wrong, 2000 was a while back, you know. But when I see some of these pictures of, like, my dad and shit, or just niggas that are old as fuck but were young as hell back then, it makes me want to cherish the time I have now before I get old. Because, they came from a generation where, shit was real. We're talking about the 90s here, Possibly the era that I wish I was born in. And, if I was, like, in my 20s in, like, let's say 1992, I would probably be, like, 49, 50, probably around this time. In 2022. Like, I would probably be 50, 49 years old. But it's crazy because Generation X, like, it's so fast that y'all aged, bro. Like, a lot of niggas just aged fast as hell. And don't get me wrong, it's gonna happen to everyone, including me. Like, but I just think you gotta admit, like, every person from Gen X, they're not niggas like my age. Their era was, like, the realest shit, bro. Like, the 90s was just looking back at it, like, the TV shows, what was happening in society, politics, what was transitioning to black people before, we're in the state we are now. Shit was just starting to change. And I have to admit, back in the day, niggas were like this. Niggas were close. And niggas were united in a way. Sure, we still had that black on black crime, but niggas were just starting to wake up, And then we have possibly the worst generation next to mine. You have millennials. This generation, bro, is a fucking pussy. Every movie that was in the theaters these past 10 years, has been a remake directed by a fucking millennial, bro. And I'll say this, it's like, I blame I blame the boomer generation on raising these niggas, because a lot of millennials, bro, in society, they really don't know how to do shit, bro. Like, these niggas are lazy. They don't know how to even get a job. Some of them still live at their parents' house. You know, at like 30, 40 years old, you know, a lot of them don't even have diplomas or shit, no degrees. A lot of these niggas, like y'all's generation, millennials, y'all really like made shit so bad for yourselves, bro. Like, a lot of you niggas, how I see y'all, you know, be just giving the worst advice to people. Because nobody, like, y'all's parents didn't teach y'all shit. You know, y'all's parents did not teach y'all, like, how to actually do shit properly. You know, some good life lessons. Like, y'all's parents didn't teach y'all that shit. I could tell because, like, you gotta think, if I'm a Gen Z nigga, most of my fucking, like, relatives are gonna be millennials. And basically what they know is gonna be passed down from their parents. That everything they know is gonna be passed down to them. You know, and they're gonna be teaching us this bullshit. So you have to keep in mind, like, it's not Gen Z's fault for some of the things like we're being taught and not being taught. It's on millennials, bro. Like, or what I like to call the pussy generation, because y'all are some fucking pussies, bro. Like, coming from a nigga from like Gen Z, y'all are some fucking pussies, bro. Millennials, y'all don't know shit, bro. Like, you know, if y'all do know something, it's a few things. It's not everything. But, you know, I don't blame you guys in the entirety of why y'all are fucked up, you know, because you have to put in mind the economy changed, like, within these last 20 years, and inflation. Those two things, and college, the price for college has gone up drastically. So a part of me doesn't blame y'all, but when it comes to like picking some bad habits up, y'all mostly have all that shit, bro. And now we come to my generation, Gen Z, Dragon Ball Z, my generation, where we basically grew up on technology. Uh, Everything we know is from like old niggas and shit. Well, some of us learned that shit, but a lot of the things like we were taught from was from Gen X. Millennials do not know how to teach shit, bro. Like, but if you ask me, millennials, they're not teaching us the right shit. I'll give them that. They're not teaching us the right shit. Sure, I could appreciate them niggas and acknowledge them that, you know, that they're older than me and they know a little bit more, but it's kind of the individual, you know. So we grew up on technology, and that's the reason why most of us don't know shit, and most of us don't even go to the library. But I'm really like scared for a few reasons, because number one, a lot of us, like I said, we don't know shit. Gen Z especially. Mostly talking about Gen Z here, but a lot of us don't know shit. So if we don't know shit, what about when we're like 50 or 60 years old, bro? All of the stuff our parents taught us, everything that our grandparents taught us, it's gonna be all lost, bro. Like, it's not gonna exist. And, you know, it's kind of like this. If your parents taught you some shit and you don't listen, when you become an adult, And most of us are basically already there. Most of us become adults. A lot of us are not gonna know shit at all. Like, you know, we have to find shit out the hard way, you know. And even when it comes to like raising kids, I say millennials are maybe slightly better because my generation, like I said, back in my high school, like bitches would get pregnant at 16, bro. Like I've seen a lot of women just pregnant at 16. So obviously people are the the generation is trying to repopulate for children, and you know, a lot of people starting to make children. But my thing is this: a lot of these motherfuckers don't know how to raise children. You know, the next generation of kids, a lot of them, it's sad to say, their mothers are basically whores, and there's gonna be a lot of children in a lot of orphanages. I'm gonna just say that. As sad as it is to say, hey, it's just reality because most of these bitches see children as accessories, bro. Like, women do not value children like they used to. Boomer generation, Gen X, maybe. Millennials, it started to decline because they're the motherfuckers that said we don't want a lot of kids. And Gen X is gonna suffer that loss, that defeat, because nobody taught them how to raise kids, you know? Like, because most millennials, they were raised from single mothers. You know, Gen X, they were raised off of single mothers. You know, what do you think Gen Z and the next is gonna be? You know, these niggas are gonna be raised off of single mothers. A lot of them are not even gonna have kids. You know, and a lot of what's being taught in school, it's way different from what the previous generations, you know, were taught. You know, but I do feel, even when it comes to society, like I feel like my generation was the last to actually go outside, bro. Like, I'm in this giant ass fucking park with like 11 fields, maybe more than that, and I barely see kids outside, man. Like, I've seen a couple just like playing soccer, and it's pretty packed today, but on an average day, I rarely see children outside, bro. You know, and what's happening is, as a society and as like a group of people, I notice people that are older, they know a little bit more because obviously they've been alive longer, and people that are younger, like, we really don't know shit. Now, this doesn't mean everybody, because I do know a lot of old dumbasses, and I do know niggas that are slightly older than me that are pretty smart, but you know, it's just completely different, man. Like, completely different. Any old niggas that are watching this, you comment below a huge difference between 1992 and 2022. There's a huge difference. Or 2002 to 2022. There's a giant difference, man. In this new millennium, shit is fucked up. You know. Like, I'm a straight up Y2K nigga. Like, I was literally born the year 2000 on some fucking second coming shit. Like, so even to some old niggas, you know, I am a child. As weird as that is to say, being alive for 22 years is, to some old people, they think I don't know shit. But in reality, old people don't know shit because everything's advanced. You know, their time is over on some sense of time type shit. And what's embarrassing is with these old niggas, right? They want to reminisce on the time when they were younger. And they always want to do this. Sure, I could appreciate if you enjoyed your time when you were, like, let's say in your 20s or some shit, and you reminisce once in a while, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is this: if you're like 50, like 60, 70, 80 years old, and all you do is bring up the past every fucking day, how better it used to be. No young nigga wants to hear that shit. No young nigga is gonna be like, you know what, old head, I could agree. Because we weren't even alive, my nigga. You know? Here today, gone tomorrow. Like, just is what it is. Some people just can't let go of the past. You know? Sometimes I do wonder, like, how the next generation is gonna be. Like, will they know shit? Will they know how to raise a family? Will they know how to, you know, get degrees and get good jobs? Will these niggas know, like, how to be even human? Because the shit that ruined my generation is technology, bro. Social media. Before social media, the world was damn near perfect. Because people were just straight up with each other, bro. Like, imagine even talking to a bitch. All you have to do is hit her up on the phone. That's it. I remember back in the day when we used to have payphones, bro. Or not payphones, like home phones. And we used to, like, look up the yellow books. Yellow pages, nigga. Like, especially for, like, pizza. We used to literally just dial that bitch. It would come. Pay it up front. Now we got these apps and shit. And it's like, it's a lot easier. The food aspect. But everything else, man, it's just negative. And like I keep on saying, I really don't know if the next generation is even gonna be human. Like, are people even gonna have emotion? Are people even gonna give a fuck about each other? Because it's not like niggas do now. Like, when someone dies, bro, like, on social media, like, translate that to real life, there's no fucking emotion, bro. Like, people do not have any empathy towards each other. You know, people ain't watching out for one another either. It's all like, if a nigga hates a nigga, it's black on black crime. You know, if two dudes don't like each other, they're just gonna act flamboyant and not be just straight up wanting to fight each other. Because they ain't about that. But back in the day, you know, if you had a problem with a nigga, you either square up, find that nigga, locate him, and do your business. Or you would just go to a park and duke it out. But it's just everything is just corrupt, man. Like, everything is fake, bro. You know, people really don't do anything out of a, like, real love for something anymore. I could say that mostly for music and, you know, sports and all that other shit. But you know, I appreciate those who've been watching this video and actually hearing what I have to say. I'm gonna probably do more orders and shit because I need some money. But like, comment, subscribe, man. What you think about each generation, and do you think it's getting worse or better for niggas? Leave your comments in the comment section below. But I'm out. Peace.